Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 1999 to 2002 Defense Dynasty. Their offense was basic. Their defense was death. From 1999 to 2002, the Bucs defense wasn't just dominant. It was historic. Warren Sapp, Derrick Brooks, Rondé Barber, and John Lynch suffocated offenses. Monte Kiffin's Tampa 2 system defined a generation. Tony Dungy built the core, but it was John Gruden who cashed in, winning Super Bowl 37 with the dismantling of the Raiders. The offense was forgettable. The defense scored more points than some teams' starters. The window was short, but the legacy was long. Every great defense since has been compared to that 2002 monster. Minnesota Vikings, 1970s, 4 Super Bowl losses, Nelabo trips, 4 heartbreaks. The Vikings redefined painful greatness. In the 1970s, the Vikings were one of the best teams in football and the most cursed. Led by coach Bud Grant, they reached 4 Super Bowls in 8 years. Fran Tarkenton scrambled and passed. Alan Page, Carl Eller, and the Purple People Eaters dominated up front. But on the biggest stage, they crumbled, losing all 4 times. No team had sustained success like that without a title. It wasn't a fluke. They ran the NFC. But their legacy became more about what slipped away than what they built. Houston Oilers, Love You Blue collapse. Houston loved them. The league feared them, but the Oilers never broke through. The late 1970s Houston Oilers were tough, emotional, and electric. Earl Campbell ran like a freight train. Bum Phillips was the Cowboy coach who had the city behind him. They pushed the Steelers to the brink twice in the AFC Championship, but they never made the Super Bowl. In 1979, a controversial call stole their shot. The run ended without rings. The heartbreak stayed. Fans wore blue, waved pom-poms, and cried when it was over. Love You Blue wasn't just a slogan, it was hope and hurt. Cleveland Browns, 1980s, close calls. The Browns were always one play away, and it always broke the wrong way. In the 1980s, Cleveland had a real shot at a dynasty. Bernie Kosar led gritty teams into the AFC title game 3 times, but each time, disaster struck. The drive by John Elway, then the fumble by Ernest Biner. Back-to-back gut punches. Marty Schottenheimer built a disciplined team. The defense was solid, the offense was balanced. The city was ready, but the door never opened. Years later, the franchise collapsed, moved, and was reborn. But those late 80s Browns, they were so close, it still haunts the city. Atlanta Falcons, 2016 collapse cost them legacy. They had a Super Bowl parade route planned, then blew the biggest lead in history. The 2016 Falcons had the MVP in Matt Ryan, the mastermind in Kyle Shanahan, and a deadly offense. They destroyed teams all year. Then came Super Bowl 51. Up 28-3 against the Patriots, they were a half away from immortality. But conservative calls, missed blocks, and Brady's magic erased everything. They lost in overtime. The core stayed competitive for a few years, but it was never the same. One half of football erased an entire dynasty before it could begin. Their legacy? A cautionary tale. Carolina Panthers, 2003-2015. Highs, no title. Twice they got close. Twice the door slammed shut. The Panthers built 2 Super Bowl caliber teams a decade apart. In 2003, Jake Delhomme and a gritty defense stunned the NFC. They lost a nail-biter to the Patriots. In 2015, Cam Newton won the MVP and led them to a 15-1 record. That team felt unstoppable until Von Miller wrecked the Super Bowl. Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis were defensive stars. Steve Smith made plays when angry, but the window never stayed open. Carolina flashed twice and vanished twice. Close, explosive, but never finished. San Diego Chargers, 2006 roster, no results. Residuals, MVP, LT, and somehow, nothing to show for it. It all, league MVP LaDainian Tomlinson, a prime Antonio Gates, and a defense led by Sean Merriman. Phillip Rivers was ascending. They went 14-2, looked like favorites, and lost to the Patriots in the divisional round. Marty Schottenheimer was fired. The core stayed together for years, made a few runs, but never reached the Super Bowl. Injuries, bad luck, and mismanagement haunted them. The talent was elite. The results were not. That 2006 roster remains one of the biggest what-ifs in NFL history. New Orleans Saints, 2006 to 2018, Breeze/Peyton runs. They should have had more. The refs and fate had other plans. Drew Brees and Sean Payton revived New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. They won Super Bowl 44 in 2009, but that was only the beginning. For the next decade, they had top offenses, smart defenses, and Super Bowl potential. But disasters kept hitting. The Minneapolis Miracle, the no call in the 2018 NFC Championship. Each year they were contenders. Each year, something stopped them. The Breeze era ended with only one ring, but years of dominance. For Saints fans, it wasn't failure. It was unfinished greatness. Tennessee Titans, 1999 to 2003, inches from glory. No yards short. That single image defined a 5-year run. The 1999 Titans came out of nowhere. Steve McNair was tough. Eddie George was a workhorse. That defense hit like bricks. In Super Bowl 34, Kevin Dyson stretched for the end zone and came up 1 yard short. The moment became iconic, but that team wasn't a fluke. From 1999 to 2003, they won 56 games, made deep playoff runs, and played old-school smash-mouth football. Jeff Fisher built a contender. They just couldn't get over the hump. One more play could have made them legends. Arizona Cardinals, 2008-2009, Warner's last stand. Kurt Warner turned the forgotten team into a Super Bowl shootout. The Cardinals had been an NFL afterthought for decades. But in 2008, Kurt Warner, Larry Fitzgerald, and a scrappy defense shocked the league. They made the Super Bowl and nearly beat the Steelers until Santonio Holmes' toe tap catch. Warner came back in 2009 and lit up the playoffs again, but the defense collapsed in New Orleans. After Warner's retirement, the run ended. But for 2 years, they were fearless, explosive, and inches from a ring. It wasn't a dynasty, but it was unforgettable. New York Jets, late 1960s, faded fast after Namath. Broadway Joe made history, but the dynasty died before it started. In 1969, Joe Namath guaranteed a win and delivered. The Jets stunned the Colts in Super Bowl III and legitimized the AFL. Namath was a rock star. The defense was solid. The moment was legendary. But what came next? Nothing. Injuries destroyed Namath's career. The roster regressed. The team never returned to a Super Bowl. For a brief moment, they looked like a rising power, but it ended just as fast. Namath made history, but the Jets never followed through. Kansas City Chiefs, 2019 to present Mahomes run. Unresolved, the NFL, and now the Chiefs feel inevitable. Since 2019, Kansas City has been the league's measuring stick. Patrick Mahomes took the torch and ran. Andy Reid built an unstoppable offense around him. Travis Kelce is a mismatched nightmare. The defense got younger, faster, better. They posted 6 straight AFC title games, won 3 Super Bowls, and even reinvented themselves mid-dynasty. Tyreek Hill left? Didn't matter. The system adapts. The rings keep stacking. This isn't a hot streak, it's a regime. The Chiefs aren't just building a dynasty, they're already living in it. Philadelphia Eagles, 2017 to 2023. Core. Backup QB wins a Super Bowl. 6 years later, they're still scary. The Eagles' 2017 title shocked the league. Nick Foles outdueled Brady. But that wasn't a one-hit wonder. Howie Roseman rebuilt fast. Jalen Hurts took over. A.J. Brown arrived. The trenches stayed elite. In 2022, they returned to the Super Bowl and nearly beat Mahomes. They've reloaded again for 2024. This team isn't defined by one core. It evolves, adapts, reloads. It's not a dynasty yet, but it's a machine with staying power. Philly turned resilience into identity, and they're not done. Cincinnati Bengals, 2021 to 2023 Burrow era start. Sexuality. Suspension rule dragged the Bengals from a punchline to the Super Bowl. In 2021, the Bengals flipped the script. Joe Burrow returned from injury, linked with Jamar Chase, and took the team from irrelevant to Super Bowl bound. The offensive line was a mess. It didn't matter. The defense was tough. Evan McPherson became clutch. They beat Mahomes in Arrowhead twice. They nearly won it all. The following year, they remained contenders, outplaying expectations again. Injuries slowed them in 2023, but the foundation set. Burrow brought swagger and legitimacy. This dynasty's in beta, but it's real. San Francisco 49ers, 2019 to 2023, reloaded. No rings, no QB stability, still one of the league's most feared teams. Combating 2019, the Niners have played in 3 NFC title games and a Super Bowl, all with different QBs. Jimmy Garoppolo, Brock Purdy, even a glimpse of Trey Lance. It didn't matter. Kyle Shanahan's offense kept humming. Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, and a violent defense made them dangerous. They lose key players, then reload. They lose heartbreakers, then reload. They don't have a ring yet, but they're always in the mix. It's dominance without the jewelry, for now. Buffalo Bills, 2020 to 2022. Allen's peak window. Stimulate the MVP level QB. They had the roster, but no breakthrough. Josh Allen turned Buffalo into a powerhouse. From 2020 to 2022, the Bills were elite, blowing out opponents, winning the AFC East, and entering every season as favorites. Stephon Diggs transformed the offense. The defense flew around. But in January, the crack showed. The 13-second collapse versus the Chiefs. The Bengals' domination. Every run ended short. The roster started aging. Tension rose. The window still open, but barely. For 3 years, they were a modern juggernaut, but they've got nothing to show for it. Baltimore Ravens, 2019 to 2023 Lamar MVP window. Changed football with Lamar, and still couldn't reach a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson won MVP in 2019 and made the Ravens the most unpredictable offense in football. Designed runs, RPO chaos, fast starts, but the playoffs never clicked. They lost early. Injuries hit hard. New coordinators came and went. The defense remained elite. Roquan Smith, Marcus Williams, Kyle Hamilton. But the offense kept resetting. In 2023, they came close again, dominating the regular season, then falling to the Chiefs. Lamar's still elite. Harbaugh's still steady. But time is running out to turn innovation into rings. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 2020 to 2021, Brady Flash Dynasty. 1 QB change, 1 ring, 1 brutal fall after. Relinquishy. Joined Tampa Bay in 2020 and immediately flipped the league. The Bucs won the Super Bowl in his first season, blasting the Chiefs. The offense was stacked. The defense, White, Barrett, Winfield, was elite. In 2021, they came close again, but lost in dramatic fashion to the Rams. Then came the injuries, the retirements, and finally, Brady's real goodbye. The dynasty window was narrow, but it delivered. One of the shortest reigns in history, but it hit hard, fast, and changed the franchise's entire identity. Los Angeles Rams, 2021 peak, 2022 collapse. They went all in, won it all, then crashed. The Rams bet the house. No first-round picks, veteran stars, big contracts. It worked. In 2021, they won the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford delivered. Cooper Kupp had a historic season. Aaron Donald sealed the deal. Sean McVay outcoached everyone. Then came 2022. Stafford got hurt. Kupp got hurt. The roster cracked. The dream turned into a rebuild overnight. But they got the ring. That was the plan. It wasn't meant to last. It was meant to win. Mission accomplished, then detonated.